the mighty and resilient Merrimack River, carving through the communities of our great region. My name is Linda Lorden, proud president of Merrimack County Savings Bank, and like the river that serves as our namesake, we're a constant yet ever-changing presence. Because to us, it's bigger than banking. It's about powering communities and putting people first. It's about knowing where you came from and where you're going. That's Merrimack style. Visit us at themerrimack.com.
This is the Washington Times front page for the final day of July, Wednesday, July 31st, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The acting director of the Secret Service said he's ashamed his agency and local cops failed to secure the roof of a building where a gunman shot at former President Trump. Lindsay McPherson reports Ronald Rowe told a Senate committee that the agency has launched a disciplinary investigation into the actions and decision-making of its agents involved in securing the July 13th rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Rowe also revealed the Secret Service may have been able to identify the shooter earlier and potentially stopped him if its counter-drone technology had worked as intended. Black journalists are furious with the NABJ for inviting former President Trump to participate in an event during the group's annual convention in Chicago. Mallory Wilson reports Trump's scheduled appearance at the National Association of Black Journalists annual convention has provoked opposition from some of the group's members, one of whom called it a slap in the face to black women journalists based on Trump's previous remarks toward them. Trump's event will be moderated by Rachel Scott of ABC News, Harris Faulkner of Fox News, and Kadia Goba of Semaphore. His campaign said he will answer questions that will concentrate on the most pressing issues facing the black community. Amid the furor, the convention's co-chair announced she was stepping down from her role as an organizer of the meeting. Attacks on women are on the rise in New York City, a trend some are blaming on a persistent shortage of police that has meant fewer officers on patrol. Matt Delaney reports New York Police Department statistics show a 10% jump in rapes through July 28th, with the streets around Times Square and neighborhoods near Brooklyn's Prospect Park experiencing more of the violent sexual assaults. The rise in sex crimes comes as the year-over-year increase in rapes began accelerating in May, according to the New York Post, which first reported the data. Former President Trump's campaign is seeking to put distance between itself and the Heritage Foundation's controversial Project 2025 that has turned into a political problem for the GOP. Stephen Dinan reports his campaign said Project 2025 was never a Trump campaign product. The campaign has tried to distance itself from the initiative as the project's director recently stepped down from his role. Project 2025 billed itself as a presidential transition team in waiting with far-right policy proposals, a database for potential political appointees to populate agencies, and training materials for a conservative overhaul of the federal government. And finally, a former federal counterterrorism expert claims the Palestinian militant group Hamas operates an extensive network of supporters in the United States linked to the Muslim Brotherhood jihadist group. Bill Gertz reports former FBI agent John Guandolo says that both groups are engaged in ideological attacks on the U.S. and pose internal security threats. Guandolo claims the groups have been using both nonviolent and violent protests, along with intelligence gathering and influence operations to shape government policy and public opinion in the United States. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.